Today, we're going to talk about the life and work of a truly remarkable individual, Dr. Mohammad Manzoor Alam. His story is one of a powerful voice, a crystal clear vision, and a brilliant strategy for change, all aimed at empowering marginalized communities. So let's dive in and really explore the incredible impact he had. And right at the start, it's so important to acknowledge that this tribute was meticulously prepared by Professor Dr. Salah Abdul Sami Abdul Razak Al-Sadiq. His thoughtful and comprehensive work is the very foundation for everything we're about to discuss, ensuring this story is told with the respect and integrity a legacy like Dr. Alam's truly deserves. And it's with that very same deep respect that this entire work is dedicated to the family of Professor Dr. Mohammad Manzoor Alam, and of course to all of his admirers in India and across the Islamic world who were touched by his work. This is more than just an analysis, it's a heartfelt homage. Now, the insights we're about to explore, they come straight from the source, from powerful testimonials that were compiled in this book to honor his contributions. This gives us a really special window, a chance to see Dr. Alam through the eyes of the people who knew him best, his peers, his colleagues, and the global leaders who came to him for counsel. So let's begin with what many people knew him for first, his voice. And we're not just talking about a speaker. Dr. Alam was a resonant force on the world stage. When he spoke, people listened. He commanded attention, and more importantly, he inspired action. But you have to wonder, right? What was it that made his voice so unique, so incredibly effective? What was it that made world leaders and everyday people alike just stop and pay attention? Well, you don't have to look far for an answer. The Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dr. Anwar Ibrahim, put it perfectly. He called him a powerful voice who offered a perspective that was moderate, practical, and compelling. Think about that combination. It's so rare, and that's what made his words so valuable. And this is really the secret sauce to why his voice carried so much weight. He was a powerful advocate, for sure, but he balanced that advocacy with a moderate perspective. He was principled, but also deeply pragmatic. He wasn't just speaking for a community. He was speaking a language of real, constructive solutions that felt, as the Prime Minister said, both refreshing and compelling. Okay, so we've talked about his voice, but behind that powerful voice was an equally powerful plan, a real blueprint for empowerment, and it was built on two incredibly solid pillars. So what was his core philosophy? If you see a community that needs to be lifted up, where do you even begin? What's the game plan? What's the first step? And here it is, summed up beautifully by Justice A.M. Ahmadi. The strategy was concrete: empowerment through education, all within the framework of the Indian Constitution. This wasn't some abstract theory. This was a practical, principled path forward. And let's look at that framework because it's just brilliant in its simplicity. Step 1, education. For him, this was the key, the absolute non-negotiable tool for any kind of progress. But then, and this is crucial, step 2, the Constitution. He believed in working within the system, using the strength of the law and civic structures to secure rights and create opportunity. Visionary and practical all at once. But Dr. Alam's influence went so much deeper than just his public persona. You see, behind the powerful voice was an equally powerful mind, a master strategist and a trusted counselor who was constantly working behind the scenes. So what did that look like? What was he doing when the cameras weren't rolling and he wasn't at a podium? Where did the real depth of his strategic influence show itself? And I love this comparison because it gives you the whole picture. On one hand, Dr. Ahmad Totanji tells us he was the go-to consultant, the person leaders actively sought out for his sharp insights. And on the other hand, Qazi Mujahidul Islam Kazmi shows us why. It was because of his deep thoughts, his meticulous planning, and the incredible network of connections he built. He wasn't just an advisor, he was an architect. So you see how it all connects? He was a deep thinker and a careful planner. Because of that, he became this highly regarded consultant. And all of that work was supercharged by the extensive, meaningful connections he cultivated. I mean, that is the very definition of a true strategic leader. So when you take a step back and you combine that powerful voice, that clear philosophy, and that brilliant strategic mind, what you're left with is a legacy that isn't just one thing. It's multifaceted and it's built to last. And this table just brings it all into perfect focus, doesn't it? From a prime minister, you hear about his practical voice. From a justice, you hear about his belief in education and law. From his peers, you hear about his role as a trusted consultant and a deep strategic planner. It's like looking at a diamond from different angles. Every single view shows you another facet of his brilliance. Which really leaves us with one final big question to think about. When you look at a life like Dr. Mohammad Manzoor Alam's, a life of service, of strategy, of advocacy, you have to ask, what is the greatest legacy anyone can leave behind? Is it the ideas you champion, the institutions you build, or is it the people you empower to carry that work forward long after you're gone?